Now, this emotion that you feel, it's really an interesting thing because you could give it lots of different names depending upon what's happening in your life. But one label would suit it just as well, and that is, it is discernment. It is an indicator of alignment or not. You see, who you really are is someone who, through life, has come to know only love. That's what source is. So when you find a reason to hate, no matter how justified it seems in your physical standards, as you stack everybody up and say these are desired behaviors and these are undesired behaviors, we know there are some very, very undesirable behaviors around you on your planet. And it seems logical from your physical format to sort them into piles and to condemn the most undesirable of them. But what happens in the first or last time that you attempted that is that as you proclaim something unwanted, undesirable, and you feel your hatred or your malice or your fear about it, that emotion that you are feeling is not an indication of the degree of badness of your object of attention. It is something so much simpler than that. It is your indicator of your personal, internal disagreement with your own source. Because source, whether you like it or not, loves those that you hate. Esther said to us, Abraham, come on. You saw that. You don't really love that about that person, do you? And we say, if we cannot find a lovable aspect, we look somewhere else. In other words, we do not stand in a place of pushing against. And the larger part of you does not stand in a place of pushing against. So when you decide that you are going to utilize your emotional guidance system, what you're actually saying is, all right, I get it. I was non-physical energy. I came into this body as an extension of non-physical energy, of source energy, of that which man calls God, for the very express purpose of sifting through variety in order to inspire myself to an awareness of further expansion. Is that right? We say, yes, that's exactly right. And then you say, all right, so I'm in my physical body. I'm sorting through the contrast. I know what I don't want. I give birth to what I do want, but I can't easily focus on what I do want because it's a new vibration. Is that right? That's right. And it's easier for me to focus upon what I don't want because I do that more often. We say, that's right. But right there, you have the ability to lean in the direction of what you do want. And here is the best reason that we can ever give you for deciding to do that. You can't feel good otherwise. And the reason you can't feel good is because your life caused the larger part of you. Remember, that's us. That's where we come in. Your life in your physical body caused expansion of source. And source stands, the larger part of you, holding steady to that newfound place that you have carved out, calling you into alignment. And as you move in the direction of that alignment, as you move into this vortex of creation, you feel better and better and better. But if you hold yourself out there beating the drum of the problem, you feel worse and worse and worse. And the reason you feel bad is not because of the problem. The reason you feel bad is because you're depriving yourself of the energy of you. You are the creator of you see. And that really is the message of law of attraction. You have come into this body and you are expanding like crazy. And you have created a new and improved version of you. You are the creator of you. You in relationship to prosperity, and you in relationship to vitality, and you in relationship to clarity, and you in relationship to your lovers, you in relationship to all relationships. You have created you in relationship to how you live and where you live and what your lifestyle is. You have created the new and improved version of you, and you've got to be up to speed with it, or you will deprive yourself of the expansion that you have already carved out. And it is your own personal deprivation depriving you of you that equals 100% of all negative emotion that you feel. Don't you love knowing that? So you say, Abraham, I'm sad. I'm sad because I'm depriving myself of the me that I really am. And we say, that's the first step. Understanding what your negative emotion is. And when you understand what it is, now you know what to do about it, because you don't have to wait for your lover to come back or your ship to come in or the money to be downloaded into your bank account. You don't have to wait for the manifestation. You have the ability to feel good because you want to feel good. But you do not have the ability to set your radio dial on 6:30 a.m. and hear what's being broadcast on 98.7 FM. You've got to turn your frequency, you've got to tune your frequency to what you want, which means you have to be willing to let go of some of the conversation. It's like, have you ever known, Jerry has talked to Esther, he had a lot of life before they came together. And he was in the circus as a teenager, and then he was in show business for years, and he was on the road constantly and surrounded by all kinds of different people. And he spoke frequently about the roughness of the environment and how he readied himself to protect himself. He was very fierce. He knew that there could be those who would come to fight, and he had to be ready for it and to give it everything he had when it did come. And for a period of his life, there was hardly a day that he did not have an altercation and come to physical blows with someone in his quest to make the world a better place. After all, don't you make the world a better place by beating the hell out of anyone who's trying to do the opposite? So we want you to focus just for a moment on, and maybe you've had the same experience where you actually come to this place of this physical action or altercation. And haven't you noticed that when things really come to blows like that, when there's action, physical action involved, that it's going to get way, 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 way worse before it gets better. And what we're suggesting is, in your mind, just make a mental decision that rather than moving into that fist fight or that nuclear war or whatever it is, just draw back from the action of it. Just draw back from the action of it and just stay with us for a moment. Feel the diffusion of it. In other words, can't you feel the diffusion of the battle when even one pulls back? So now, that's a diffusion of resistance, which is the beginning of allowance. There's resisting who you are and allowing who you are. So now, continue with your verbal dialogue. And haven't you noticed, have you ever been in a discussion with someone with whom you disagreed? Have you ever been able to talk them out of their position? Doesn't it just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger? The surer you are, the surer they are, and the surer they are, the surer you are. Now, there's a universal law behind that, because whenever you know what you don't want, you know more clearly what you do want. In other words, it's parlaying up bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. But we're just saying, and we know you've noticed that verbal battle never gets resolved. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. In fact, it usually leads to the physical stuff if you let it go far enough, but we're moving the other way. So you withdrew the fists, and now you've decided to shut up. You've decided to just stop the commentary with the intention of diffusing the resistance. Now, we know some of you are thinking, but Abraham, I was right. I was right. And we remind you, we know you were right. We'll give that to you. You were right. We know you think you were right. We know it felt like you were right. We'll give it to you. You were right. But remember, the criteria is not, is it true or am I right? The criteria is, how does it feel? So we want you to feel the diffusion that happens when you stop offering your fists, and more diffusion that happens, more releasing of resistance happens when you stop offering the words. But you're still thinking about it, aren't you? You're still thinking about it. In fact, you're going to bed thinking about it, and you're waking up thinking about it, the injustice of it. You really wish that you just obliterated them when you had the chance. Now, think about withdrawing those thoughts. Now, this is the thing that we really want you to understand. We've never known anyone who could really turn their attention away from an active vibration, because it's an active vibration. Someone said, it feels like my thoughts are thinking me. So we want to help you to give yourself the benefit of the doubt and let yourself off the hook by acknowledging that when you've got something going on and it's really active in your vibration, you're thinking about it a lot because you've been offering the vibration. You've trained yourself into the vibrational frequency of that. So that thought is showing up, just like someone to fight with showed up in Jerry's experience every day when he was taking all of those jujitsu and all of those different self-defense. The more prepared he was for it, the more of it came to him. It does to anyone. The more clever you get in your argumentative debate, the more people to debate will come to you. Law of attraction just brings it. So you have to decide, and this is the thing that we really want you to understand, is that when you decide that you're trying to strike your pose of harmony with the new and expanded version of you, with the lifestyle that you've put into your vortex, when you decide that you're going to turn your attention in the direction of who you really are and what you really want, in your attention to something else, that vibration begins to fade away. So what we're really saying to you is that creation is about training yourself into vibrational patterns. And in the same way that Jerry made a decision finally, this fighting business is getting me nowhere. He decided that he was not going to fight anymore. And almost from the moment that he made that decision, not one other fight presented itself to him because he deactivated it from his vibration enough that it stopped coming. And we are proclaiming to you that you have the ability to deactivate all unwanted things in your vibration. But the only way that you can deactivate unwanted things is to make a decision about what you are going to activate. And the thing that makes it tricky for you is you cannot do it all at once. You can't just stop thinking about that. That's why we're sort of breaking it to you gently. We know most of you are not out there having fist fights, but we want you to think about action being an extreme vibrational patterning. By the time you're offering action about something, you've got a strong vibrational pattern going. And you've got a lot of strong vibrational patterns that serve you, but you have some vibrational patterns that don't serve you too. So cease the action as quickly as you can. Cease the commentary as quickly as you can. Do you know, if you would just make a decision to stop talking about those things that bother you, I'm going to stop talking about those things that bother me. I'm going to stop talking about those things that bother me. You would catch yourself more often when you're talking about those things that bother you. And eventually, by choosing the other side of it, years ago, we offered the idea of pivoting. When you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. So in the middle of talking about what you don't want, if you would stop and say, what I do want is, and wouldn't it be nice if you could, in a very short period of time, we're talking about a matter of hours really, a couple of days at most, you could change the vibrational patterning of any subject that has been bothering you, and law of attraction will no longer bring you the cooperative components that are annoying you, and will begin to deliver to you the cooperative components that are pleasing to you. You live in a universe that is based upon vibration, and you are a veritable vibrational emitter. And you can control what you're emitting just like you can control what you do with your behavior. But it takes practice to do it. So, we've begun talking about this vortex because we want you to understand that there are 3 steps to the creative process. Step 1 is ask, and you can't help but do that. Contrast causes you to ask all day, every day. Know what you don't want, you're asking for what you do want. Step 2 is source becomes the vibrational equivalent of what you're asking for. That's this vortex that we're talking about. Source stands in this vortex, emitting the signal of what you have become. And law of attraction gathers all cooperative components to that vibrational place. Now, sometimes you say, well, the vibrational place isn't all that exciting to me because I can't spend it. I can't see it even. I can't hear it. I can't smell it. I can't taste it. I can't touch it. I'm not that excited about this vibrational vortex thing, whatever it is. And we say, but you must be excited about it because you have to understand that everything that you know that has manifested in your physical world was a vibrational frequency first and was in a vortex vibrationally before the components were gathered enough that it could be translated through your vision, through your auditory, through your sensory perception.